Rediscover the 80s, your retro news and talk station.
Hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this special Christmas episode of the Rediscover the 80s podcast. It is time once again for our annual tradition of opening up an old Christmas catalog and then going on a shopping spree. We've done this for several years now. In this feed, actually, you can find a few shows for Rediscover the 80s. And if you followed me over on the Retro Network Time Machine, we did a couple shows over there over the last few years. And this time we're back over here to Rediscover the 80s with some familiar voices, of course. First, it's Jason here, of course, playing host and flipping through the pages with me on this episode, as he's done several times in the past, Mr. Chad Young from the Horror Movie BBQ. Hey, Chad.
You know, Jason, you missed the opportunity to say that you were the ho-ho host.
Ho-ho host, yes.
There you go. I am chick of the ho-ho horror movie barbecue.
Yes. Very nice.
But these jokes are just they're adding to so many people's joy.
If people knew me, I should have been all over with some dad jokes here, because that's all I post on Facebook.
Let's pull back the curtain, because every day I see Jason posted something, I just, before I even start reading it, I start rolling my eyes, because I know exactly where it's going to go.
Exactly. Yeah, I hate Facebook so much, so I'm just trying to get rid of followers over there, and so I have a reason to cancel it. But people laugh, people have fun, you know, it's all about good fun. Also, you might have heard, joining us tonight is my co-host for Memory Jogger and the 80s Weekly, my pal Wyatt.
I don't have any Santa Claus cliches. I guess I'm a co-host. I don't know.
Co-ho-ho-host?
Oh, I like that.
Or we could go, cornholio. Oh, cornholio. No, sorry.
Yeah, you take another direction there.
That is true.
Anyway, glad you guys are here and we're all here. We've had some scheduling conflicts. We're finally all together here and ready to do this show. And so we've landed on the 1982 Sears Wishbook for this year's episode, going back 40 years. Dear God, we're getting old. This catalog, actually, this year in 1982 was the 50th anniversary of Sears. If you guys noticed that on the front cover. So I tend to kind of look at the covers and what's on the inside there. Typically there's some information about, the book and just everything that's inside. The cover on this 1982 book wasn't as inviting as some of the others I've seen. There's just like this wintry image, or maybe from a painting, and a little red bow in the corner. Most I see is these like staged family settings in front of the fireplace with the mom and the dad and the daughter, very, very 80s. And it almost looks like Olin Mills pictures or something on the front of these catalog covers, but not so much with the 82 Sears Wishbook. But there were still some fun things about this. I just running through the entire catalog. Did you guys see anything unique, or maybe like a running theme, something you saw a lot of, or some funny pictures, weird products, anything like that? We'll just start off with this little icebreaker. What about you, Chad? Did you see anything like that?
Yeah, I noticed that there was the 70s and early 80s really sucked and were boring. Oh my gosh. And I saw a lot of and Jason, doing your website, and as big fans of like the 80s and nostalgia, we know this. It usually takes like a year or two or three sometimes for a decade to kind of start forming its own like culture and personality. So there was a lot of like 70s runoff here. I feel like it's a lot of like styles, and like just it felt weird to see, because I wasn't born until 83. So, a lot of the stuff that I like, and like a lot of my aesthetics are usually like,
later in the 80s.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like wood paneling, like stuff you would find at like a flea market or something like that. I loved all the Dukes of Hazzard stuff. I loved all the elf stuff.
I would fancy a guess that somebody's going to be picking a lot of Dukes of Hazzard stuff in this episode, but
Oh, really? Interesting.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Yeah, we don't do that here.
No.
I think one of my favorite things was just all the video games, and you just see just how basic it was until Nintendo came along. So that was a favorite of mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, all the technology. I always love looking at the technology of the time, and there's some fun ones in this book that I have never seen or knew existed, and some of the like boom boxes and things. We might get to one depending on what I pick for my tech gift here, but yeah, we're kind of right on the cusp of all that marketing and the floodgates opening to really market all these cartoons and things that we were getting in the early 80s, 82. We've got shows like Dukes of Hazzard, there's the Smurfs and Strawberry Shortcake. There's like, this book turned into a Smurfs catalog for like 10 pages. I don't know if you guys saw that. But Pac-Man, yeah, lots of things like that in this book. But we're still miles away from, the real mid 80s when you get Masters of the Universe and G.I. Joe and Transformers and all this just awesome stuff.
By the way, did these magazines always list food products? Like, I feel like there was like cookies and like a lot of summer sausages and all that.
Yeah, I think that was a very common thing. We just didn't remember that.
Yeah,
we weren't looking for it. No.
Yeah, when they stopped doing stuff like that.
I don't know, but I do remember, we've picked like popcorn tins and things like that over the course of us doing these shopping spree shows. But I've always remembered seeing a little bit of food in some of these catalogs. What about you, Wyatt? What do you, when you were flipping through the book, anything that just popped out at you?
Well, a couple things. I can see from Chad's eyes, we only got a chance to look at it because I don't remember ever seeing it every year. At least growing up, I don't remember seeing that catalog every year. So I do see with my adult eyes that are now in the 2022, it does look very antiquated. You got the wood paneling, you see the older photography, but I did see what seemed to be a theme. Just because it's the age, the era, and it was all the electronics because it seemed to be a boom of an explosion of electronics. So you got these various camcorders from whatever size with the little VCR slung attachment for your tape. You have a little more compact unit, but it still looks like it has to weigh 50 pounds. The variety of TV / furniture that's available. And what was still fascinating is how small it could get. We sometimes, at least even me, I know it existed being a child of the 80s, but you look at like our kids, for instance, they think that an old tube TV has to have been from like the 20s, but you see these small 5-inch, 6-inch little color TVs. At me, I'm like, I don't remember seeing this, but that was really cool. Even for that era, that's a small little cool box. Why did it never take off?
Right.
Because I would have swooped one up, but I guess our income was a little bit different because that was like a $300 item. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Back then it was, jump to 2022, it's like $1,000 item,
Probably, yeah.
Inflation and stuff, but yeah, it's the electronics were everywhere. You had all of the little handheld games and things, digital, just on the cusp of like digital watches and things like that you could see as well.
Yep.
So the technology was just starting to flow.
And the variety of arcade systems. You got the Atari, you got the Atari computer, you got the IntelliSystem and whatever cousin, I can't remember right off the top of my head.
Television and yeah.
There was a cousin to that one that was all in there. So you sit there and think, wow, all these people competed to get their name in there. I'm talking manufacturer like Atari and Intellivision and so forth. Coleco. They're trying to get their name to try to get their foothold into that market. Atari obviously won that, I would argue, a little better. And then you can't help, even unless you sit and think of it as a kid back in 82, you can't help but wonder, okay, my smartphone, I can get all these arcades. In fact, I just found Capcom Bowling, which Jason and I revere as an awesome bowling arcade game. And I finally found it through a little bit of sleuthing and found an app, essentially mod emulator on my phone. So now I can play Capcom Bowling while playing NES, while playing Parsec from my TI-99, while I'm still have a little tiny window up here watching Alf. I mean, I can do all this. And this is so cool.
I can sum up this catalog in one picture. Go to page 48, if you would, if you've got your catalog up. Page 48 is the picture of the family in their monogrammed sweaters. I put this out on...
oh, jeez, that stood out in my head, too. I was like, holy crap.
Yep.
I'm not allowed to curse on this, right?
Well, we try not to, yeah. Okay. We try to keep it family friendly.
Well, so is the white bread nonsense in this photo. This is just terrifying. Like Star Trek characters. Like the red shirts.
Yeah, yep. Somebody actually said, I put this out on Twitter, and somebody said, for the quick minute there, I thought it was the Star Trek uniforms. So, yeah. But how much would you get bullied or just your butt kicked in school if you're wearing this around, with your little monogrammed, sweater? Oh, man, Lord.
I would hope no one leaves the house wearing those at all. Kids or adults. I feel like there's a lot of being thrown into dumpsters and duct taped to park benches if you're wearing that. I just, no.
Yeah. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out before we get into our list, there was another fun little thing that I found I had never seen before. Go to page 13, which is at the beginning of the book where you have all of these gifts for $5, $10, $25. If you go to page 13, there is a precursor to the fanny pack. And it is...
Oh, my
yes.
God.
It looks like a miniature backpack that you would hang on your belt right on the side. I had never seen this before. I just thought it was weird.
I think I like that better than the fanny pack.
I'm seeing this for the very first time. Now, we're talking about people getting beaten up for wearing those sweaters. Imagine how many kids are getting beaten up for wearing this.
Yeah.
This is just... Whew,
well, it is for girls. It says the girls hip pack.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it looks like a miniature backpack. I had never seen this before. To just hang on your belt and put whatever you need in there on the go.
I didn't see one person wearing this at RetroCon, and now I'm upset. I feel like someone had to have had this in their house.
Now we'll look.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was just a couple fun things that I found as I'm thumbing through the book. Well, let's go ahead and get on to our shopping spree. So the rules are pretty simple. There's no cash limit here. Just going to buy until our heart's content. And we're going to do it round robin. So a new person will start each round. And we'll introduce the categories here. Once an item is selected, it's off the board. Can't choose it, okay? And then we'll try to recap our list at the end. And maybe our listeners can choose which shopper's stuff was the best. So the categories we're going to be giving you, we're going to do a gift for each other. So Wyatt is going to pick for Chad, Chad's going to pick for me, and I'm going to pick for Wyatt. Just one thing from the random thing from the book. We're going to do a clothing item or outfit. If you wanted to do like shirts, pants, shoes, something like that. We're going to do a Christmas item, anything that's just Christmas themed or related. One video game can be, I said, like a cartridge, or I don't know, even if you want to do a whole system, or a handheld game, because there's a lot of those in here as well. And then one electronic item or tech item, anything that plugs in, needs batteries, whatever. Pick anything electronic there. Of course, 2 rounds of toys. We got to have our toys. And then one random item from the book. Anything you want to take with you as we wrap things up. So, Chad, I'm going to let you go first since you are a guest and not a normal, nobody here is normal.
Right.
Nobody here is normal since you're not one of the regular hosts on here on the podcast. So I'm going to let you go first, and you are picking for me. So what did you pick for me in the book?
Okay, so first off, you were right by saying not normal. So, Jason, I know how much you love the 80s. I know how much you love Dukes of Hazzard. And I know how much you love slot cars. So I grabbed you on page 602, number 2, the Dukes of Hazzard figure 8 Raceway.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I feel like, I could see you wanting this as a kid, and I mean, is it safe to assume you didn't really get this?
No, slot cars, I've always loved the slot car tracks and never got a really great one. And this one looks kind of like is it slot cars, or is it just something that you're able to push or something along the track? I can't tell.
Now that I'm looking at it even more, I maybe it's like a Hot Wheels thing, which
Slam Figure 8 Raceway. It's the General Lee and the Hazard County Sheriff's car as they race off against each other on this Figure 8 racetrack. Place cars on the back up, loading mechanism, and hit the slam shifter to send them racing down the track. Okay, so there's some kind of there's no electronics. There's no like little gun, to make your cars go. You're just hitting them and trying to crash them into each other, I guess. But there's a jump. I see a jump there, so that's cool as well. You got to have a jump if it's Dukes of Hazzard.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Side note, my original choice, I think it's on either the next or the previous page. They have a plush Flash, which I didn't know that they made. Where is it? What page? 603, I think. I didn't know that they made that.
Yeah. That's crazy. I did see that. Yeah, because we're in the we've turned into the Dukes of Hazzard portion of the catalog here, which is several pages, and I see some things that even Wyatt had. But yeah, I didn't know that plush Flash dog existed either.
I don't remember it, but I know that they sell that now at Recruiters.
Oh, do they?
Oh, do they really?
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
Have you been to Cooters, by the way?
I have twice.
Yep.
Did you go to the Hazard Fest?
I went to the Cooters Last Stand in 2017.
Okay.
I need to go again before Cooter or anybody else passes.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
They're getting up there. All right. Well, I'll go next, and I picked for Wyatt, and we'll just, kind of stay in the Dukes of Hazzard mentality here. But we're going to go to page 443, and I know this would have been before we had cars. But our friend and yours here, Chad, he had a Dixie horn set up in his car.
No.
In high school.
Good. Great.
And so
what is wrong with you?
If you if you go down to I think it's number 7 here, you've got the musical car horns. There's like 5 of them right there, and you've got 3 tunes to choose from. Well, of course, we're gonna do the Dixie horns. For $57 here, you can set those up in your car and, announce your presence anytime you go anywhere.
Yeah. Minor side note.
While we're on the subject, was it just the General Lee, or did Daisy's Jeep have that too?
No, Daisy never had any type of horn in her car.
Okay.
That's the conventional Jeep horn.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Side note
for me, Jason is legit. I had this musical 101 programmable thing with, you could actually program like I think a half dozen others. Dixie horn was in there. He programmed the Jaws theme.
I did. That's right. Oh gosh, I forgot about that.
And then fast forward, when I was joined the Air Force, I happened upon the actual air trumpets that J.C. Whitney used to carry, and I bought myself a set of those for my old '94 Dodge Dakota and carried that for 10 years. Then it quit the bed when I traded the truck and bought another set and put it in my next Dakota that I bought. And now they're just sitting in a pile in my shed.
See, I was thinking the one that you had in high school was just like one horn, and it was able to do, different notes instead of having like 5 here.
It was a little cone horn, yes, that sat out underneath one of the vents underneath the hood. And it had like, I don't know, like I said, 100 and some buttons, and it had everything. It had the Star Trek theme. It had I can't remember. I'd have to prop up J.C. Whitney to see what it had. But it had, like I said, 100 of them. But it didn't have the Jaws one. And Jason figured it out. So he popped it in there and saved it. And I later turned that speaker into my outdoor speaker for my stereo. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember. I had this little kill switch.
I remember,
on the side,
you had the whole setup in your truck.
Yep. We'll get carried away if I keep going.
Yeah. Let's keep going. So you're picking for Chad, Wyatt. What are you picking for Chad?
Well, I know that you're more into the horror stuff, which was hard to find in any of these in this catalog, but the closest I could come up with, Chad, was on page 516. There is a ventriloquist dummy, which is the 30-inch Bozo the Clown doll.
Oh God! Oh God! I see it.
I haven't got. You said 516.
Yes,
516.
All right, I'm pulling it up right now.
These are all creepy. I see.
Oh my gosh! What is that? What? Ew! I'm sorry for yelling, Jason. You're gonna have to.
This is great, Chad.
Ew.
Just think about having this clown puppet in your car and just like peeking his head up over the window
Sunroof.
as you're as you're next to somebody, you know, right out the driver window. Just pop his head up a little bit, and you're kind of looking the other way.
These are. Ew!
Oh, look, you've got.
Wait a minute. Why do
you got Groucho?
There's Groucho. There's Mo.
Why is there only one?
There's Howdy Doody.
Well, if you're gonna have one of the three, you got to have Mo. He's the one that was just the loudmouth.
Yeah.
All right, you got me there. Oh,
but yeah, it's kind of weird seeing Mo by himself and no Larry and Curly.
I agree.
You'd have to get three of your friends to put on a whole shtick. That clown though, oh yeah. No.
Oh gosh,
no.
That is definitely going on Twitter tonight with a mommy. Can I go out and film tonight?
There you go. Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's terrifying. I hate it. I hope you kept a gift receipt. And I
thought you would like that kind of stuff.
I like. Yeah, I just don't want. I don't want it anywhere near me. It's terrifying. But it's the
All right.
that counts. It's Christmas. It's
That's
better
right.
than
That's right. Yeah.
And,
You're like just include the receipt.
Now it all makes sense.
All right, so let's keep it rolling here. So the next round, we're going to do our clothing or outfit here, and I'm going to start, and we're going to go to page 262, and we're just we're chilling at the house. I'm not going out. There's a lot of crazy clothes, crazy designs in here.
Jeez.
But we're going to, page 262, and I'm going to do the combo here. So we're going to get a nice Pittsburgh Steelers flannel robe. Just imagine that the kid in the Cowboys robe, a nice black and gold with the Steelers logo there on the pocket. And then, we're going to combo that with the slipper socks on the next page or the next panel there. Slipper socks.
Nice.
Goodness.
I do not remember these being a trend at all. But it's like vinyl on the bottom. It's almost like having the footy pajamas, but just the socks. The bottom. I had never remembered these at all, the slipper socks, but they look fun. You would stay warm, and then you can go and get the mail if you need to because you got the slipper socks on.
Yeah. Wear those to the Steelers game. Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? You probably fit in too. Like how crazy they are and how crazy they dress.
That's right. There should have been a yellow towel around in this catalog somewhere. Use that as your terrible towel. So yeah. So that's all I did for my clothing. I got the robe and I got the slipper socks to just chill. I hear silence. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right,
we know what else that means.
All right, well, let's go on to Wyatt. What was your clothing items?
Just a few pages to the right, 265. I'm gonna get. I doubt I would fit into them today, but I get the Dukes of Hazzard PJs with the robe.
Ooh.
Oh yes, yeah. Now, let me say, so you got the PJs, the robe is similar to mine as far as, because I saw this, I was like, this was in the running for maybe getting for you, but they also have on page 357 is the Dukes of Hazzard slipper socks. So we're doing slipper socks for everybody. Yeah, it's just kind of random that they put the slipper socks, there's like hoodies and long sleeve shirts. I guess there is a PJ set there, but... So there's your Dukes of Hazzard slipper socks. I'll buy those for you since you're going to go with the PJs.
That's awfully nice. That's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
Right. As long as you don't grow out of them.
What about you, Chad?
We're gonna go to 241 since you guys want to dress like bums. I decided that by the way, holler at a
there you go.
Montana, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Look at that.
Great.
Look at that. He looks like a kid.
He does.
He is a kid. I mean,
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously I'm a Bears fan, and I am gonna go with number 34 jersey, the greatest football player of all time, Mr. Sweetness himself, Walter Payton.
Yep.
And if someone wants to argue that Walter Payton wasn't the greatest of all time, bro, I'm 6'6". I'll meet you outside. Come on. So then this is weird because it's like before like Nike and Reebok even got their hands on these things, these look like just regular t-shirts. And like if you ever, for anyone who's not really able to picture what this looks like, go back and think of all those like late 70s, early 80s summer camp movies where like there's the one counselor that's like wearing a half shirt and it's like a jersey. It's usually like green or blue or something like that.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they look like. And it's kind of fun to see them, knowing how far jerseys have come now. Like I'm a jersey collector, so I love this.
Well, it's funny, like the NFL logo that they have, it looks like a football. It's got the leather there in the corner. Not an NFL logo you've ever seen before. No. There's no NFL branding at all on these jerseys. It's just the 49ers and the number, with the triple stripes on the two sleeves. So it's very plain, but yeah, compared to what you see now, you see Nike logos and all kinds of stuff on all of the jerseys. And of course, the NFL shield, none of that was back here. It was just plain Jane. All right, I like the Niners and I like number 16. Yep, that's all I need. That is all I need, man.
Hey, you know what? Yeah. You know what? You know what this NFL logo kind of looks like is the Mad Balls logo, but if you just put it in like a football.
Yeah, made it to a football. That's funny. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to do a side-by-side comparison here. Yeah, we'll check it out. All right. Well, we made it through our clothing items, and now we're up to our Christmas item, and we're going to start with Wyatt on this one. So what Christmas item did you find in the book, Wyatt?
This is really because I remembered having this as a kid, and it was on page 403.
Uh-huh.
It's the Christmas light bubbling lights where they kind of bubble in this little tube, colored tube.
What page?
403.
Up in the left corner there, yeah. They actually
it out. He was like, "Dog, keep up."
They actually still make those.
They do. My neighbor has them, and I haven't found them. I love them.
I love them. You always had one that maybe didn't heat up quite as much and it wouldn't do the bubble, and you're like, come on, man. But they were so cool and just fun. I could stare into the tree for hours looking at those lights.
That's what I did as a kid, just on loop, essentially, watching it bubble.
Oh, man. That's cool. There's some fun lights on this page.
There are.
There's like candles you put in the tree there. I've never seen those before.
That's why they're probably not in the market anymore.
True. Yeah. Chad, did you have the bubble lights?
The bubble lights. I don't think wait, which one's on the page before? Or the ones
No, it's on 403 in the top left corner there. Those ones that have the large round bottom and then the skinny stuff with the liquid in it that has the bubbles in it.
Okay, let's you said we were a family program. Let's keep it okay. I don't remember the bubble lights. I got to be honest. These
okay.
Oh my.
I remember them, so I think that's a good pick, Wyatt. Good pick. All right, Chad, what's your Christmas item?
On 389, we're talking about food because
yeah. Oh, there
you know exactly where I'm going. Where am I going, Jason?
Well, I just was taking it all in because there's so much on here. But you got cookies. You've got, what is that, bread down here? Oh, and the chocolates, of course. Mm. Oh, are those the Hershey Kisses cookies there? What is those?
Close. I am looking at letter N, butter cookies.
Oh, yeah, the butter cookie assorted. Oh, man. Graham had those every year. They're so good. Oh. You could eat a whole tin of them.
Just,
Yeah.
You know what? Just give me a tin of the pretzel shaped cookies. That's what I want. I just want to eat all.
Oh man, good pick. Yeah, and those are classic too. They still make those today. So that's how you can tell they're dang good cookies.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They still put them out today, and we still want to get them. Very good pick. And Christmas, you always have the goodies out. There's always little things that you set out while before you get to the dinner, kind of like Thanksgiving. And those tins, those were the perfect gift. Still are the perfect gift to me, who loves to eat.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. My Christmas item, page 413. I had not remembered this, but all of my friends who are getting gifts this year is going to be wrapped in Smurfs gift wrapping paper. There in the top right corner. And there's 4 different designs. So you can't beat that. The Smurfs wrapping paper. There's a white background with all the characters on it, and then you got one that's like the Smurfs village, and maybe them ice skating over here. My eyes aren't too good. But
oh my word.
Just oh man, I love the Smurfs in this time, and well, I still love the Smurfs, but I think they came out in like 81. It was early 80s, and I would have been eating all this up right here. Give me the Smurfs wrapping paper.
All right,
awesome.
look at that design. Oh, it's just so beautiful.
I just saw that. I'm lucky I did that. They put up there in the corner, and it caught my eye. I was like, "Ooh, Smurfs wrapping paper! Yeah, let's get that." All right, now we're back around to Chad, and we're doing our video game, our electronic game or video game. What did you find in this wonderful book?
So I mentioned it before, and well, we're going to go to 645, and just how honky tonk all of these, video games look. There's some really fun games on page 645, and the one, this is all for the Atari video computer system, or I'm sorry, they're all compatible with Sears Video Arcade, Video Arcade 2. Atari Video Computer System, which remember the Sears Video Arcade? Did you guys ever have that?
Well, let's talk. Go ahead and take your pick, and we're going to go over a couple pages because I want to check it. I want y'all to see it.
Okay, I picked the very first choice on the page, number 18, The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh yes,
that's really the only one I recognize. I'm not gonna lie.
That game was so bad.
Oh, it was bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh no!
Well, at least to me it was. Somebody else may correct me if they want to. That's listening or eventually watching. I can't remember who it was that had it. I just could never get the thing to do what I wanted it to do. Very simple, but yeah, seeing the way it was weird the way the AT-AT walks.
Yes.
Their legs are all kind of jumbled like. I don't know, like a bunch of sticks put together. So it wasn't very fluid, but of course, Atari at the time. But that would have been a game though this Christmas.
Yeah.
You've got The Empire Strikes Back just would have came out a couple years ago, before this.
So
and this is before Return of the Jedi. Yeah. So yeah, oh my gosh, that's why it's one of the larger screens we see. Yeah, exactly. And they've got this is great that they put that little inlay here with the actual walker in between the screens. So, oh yeah, that's a good pick. I didn't like the game, but I think it's a good pick. Yeah, see, I think it's a couple pages over. It's page 646. At the bottom, they're saying the Sears Video Arcade, and it looks pretty much like an Atari, but it's branded Video Arcade. Like Sears, they got a license from Atari to make these systems, but with their name on it. It's weird.
That would never happen now.
Oh
Can you
no!
imagine
Going
to like Sony and being like, "Hey, we want to take the patent or the design for PlayStation 5, and we want to just market it as the Target Video System."
Right, yeah.
An Atari.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's just
the wood paneling on the side, I think, is a little bit darker than the normal 2600, but it's a 2600, and you got the same paddles than the joysticks, you know, you would use for Atari, and playing the Atari games. So, gosh, it's just crazy to me that they would brand it that way.
I just don't remember this. I
don't either.
I mean, I know that
Did you guys see all the accessories that are in here? Like the little cases you put your Atari in, and it has a little clear cover to flip down. Yeah, there's some in there that just I saw and was like, wow, I don't remember having that, or you know, Dad always hated my Atari, so he was not buying something to keep it, you know, pristine in. If it fell off the side of the TV stand, well, that was my fault, and sorry. You know.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, all right, my choice, I'm actually not going with the video game. I'm going to go with a handheld game. And it's on page 634.
Ooh.
634. Now, I was a big fan of the Mattel little handheld games, the football, and I had football and baseball. I played those all the time. Now, down in the left corner here, number 16 is called the 7-in-1 Sports Stadium. And you've got all of these other extra little screens that you can pop in. So in case you don't want, and it's 2-player, which is nice. So you got the red little thumbstick on both sides to play both sides of, you know, like baseball. But there's like football and basketball and tennis and soccer and all these other little games, and you just pop the screen in and out. I had never seen that before. I thought that was the coolest thing.
It's pretty wild. And so it's 2 people can play this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah, I had a baseball game that was similar to that was years later, and one person could pitch and one person would bat. So I remember that setup, but I never remember seeing anything where you can pop the screens in and out. It's essentially like, you know, those screens that you would get for your Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you put the little screen in, you could do something, a little game or whatever, pop that out, put something else in. It's kind of like that. It's still probably the same little red, it's not really LED, but the red lights, you know, that light up as you're playing the game. But they give you some different options. You just pop it in. I thought that was the coolest thing.
That's so, and you know, and like you said, like that time, like what exactly, like that's so crazy for that time. Yeah, I'm in full, because what before this, wasn't it just that handheld football? Like was
that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's in this like stage in the early 80s. That was about it. There's a few on the next page too that are on the side that look a little bit more complex, but I never remember having the screens that pop in and out. I thought that was just the coolest thing.
I can see that like blowing a lot of kids' minds. Like, oh my gosh, we can play soccer and baseball and football.
Right.
Well, think about it. We didn't have that diversity. You had to get a whole new game for every little thing you wanted. Because they made the football. That's what you predominantly remember. But you had a baseball. I think you had a soccer.
There's basketball. Yeah, there's a lot of them. And, you know, I'm looking at the prices here. So the cheapest, you're probably in the $8-9 range. This thing was $40, and you got whatever 7 different games you could play. So that was a deal right there, man. Pop in and out of your screens. But all right, Wyatt, I've yacked enough. What video game?
Well, just because I never actually had it, I was going to go back towards the end of the catalog, page 646, and get myself an Atari arcade system. Never actually had one since I had my Texas Instruments 99 4A, but I did get a chance to play with it. If you had it or another friend had it, get to play some games. I remember liking Superman and Pitfall, and Pac-Man was okay, but after a while you're like, okay, the ghosts are getting me too much. So either suck or whatever.
Atari Pac-Man wasn't that great either.
But
did not port well.
It's something I didn't have, but kind of wanted, even with my Texas Instruments. Kind of felt like I was left out in a way, because hey, you know, I got this computer. I can't put Pac-Man in my cartridge and play it. I have a pseudo Pac-Man with Jawbreaker and Munchman. Munchman was the other name that they made.
Munchman.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean,
that's-
it's just all the classic games are here. You got Missile Command and
That's it.
new.
There's so much
New, it's
variety.
Frogger. You know.
I remember growing up, we had, when we moved into my stepdad's, his daughters had that Intellivision.
Uh-huh.
I think it was that one.
That's in this catalog, yeah.
Right. And it had the card games. So I was playing like Blackjack and all these other games. Didn't have anything else on
Teaching you young, yeah.
it. Yeah,
Teaching
really.
you
To
gamble
gamble.
when
That's
you're
why
8
I
years
suck
old.
even at the card table now. But yeah. But the Atari seemed more fun, and that's why I chose it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of these games. I probably had about 20 or 30 Atari games, and they're good for about, 5 minutes, and then you're on to the next cartridge. Just because that was the technology of the time.
Right.
But I almost went on page 3 is that Donkey Kong. Did y'all see that? The tabletop arcade? I had that. Page 3, right in the front of the book.
Thank goodness.
It was less than $75. It was $60. I don't think I had it this early. I think I got it later in the 80s, but I had that for the longest time, and I regretted selling that when I did. I think I sold it to eBay. I needed some money, and
Oh wow.
it's just, the miniature arcade. They've made several of them over the years. I think there's actually some more in this catalog that are, I know Pac-Man, they did a Pac-Man that way. And eventually Zaxxon, I think they did one that was kind of that style. But anyway, man, that just brought back so many memories as well. All right, so let's keep going. We're up to our electronic item. Let's see, I think I'm up. This is a tough call because there's some great electronics in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to kind of point one out at some point, but I'm going to go, I don't know. I'm probably going to look like a dope wearing this, but I don't care. Page 165. Page 165. This is state-of-the-art technology, ladies and gentlemen. 165. We are going with the radio watch. Now, this caught my eye because this kind of looks like the watch that Michael Knight wore in Knight Rider.
Ooh.
Actually, it does.
With that little dial at the
Yep.
bottom.
That's probably what they actually used.
This is crazy to me. We have a digital wristwatch that you can plug headphones into and listen to AM radio. I mean, come on, people. This is state of the art.
Oh, gosh.
But what I want to know, because it says in the description, let's see, plug into watch and to give hours of listening enjoyment. How fast are you draining this little watch battery listening to the radio, And it can't, I mean, it's AM, so obviously AM isn't the best quality anyway, but...
Well, if you look throughout this catalog, every novelty something that they had was all AM radio.
Yeah, this is kind of before FM really took off, but 1982, you've got a watch you can plug headphones into and listen to the radio. How cool is that?
It is. It's really cool.
I almost went down just below that is the Pac-Man watch.
Yeah.
That is another thing that I did have later, well, probably middle or later 80s, because I remember I bought it and I took it to school and they told me you're not wearing that here anymore once they figured out what it was and what I was doing. Yeah. So luckily they didn't get confiscated, but I wore it to school like one day and that was it.
What are these characters? Is that like a little... Oh, they're jewelry. Never mind.
Pac-Man jewelry.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't even notice these. I was looking at the watches, but all right, Wyatt, for you, your electronic item.
There's so many in here, so many gadgets I really wanted, but I just caught it. And I think just down below that, item number 7 is the Dukes of Hazzard game watch.
I had no idea they had made a Dukes of Hazzard game watch.
Right, nor did I. I knew they had watches. That's one of the collector items that you see all over the place, but it's just a regular old digital watch with, Dukes of Hazzard markings all over it. But this is it's a new thing to me.
Yeah, I was trying to see 3 different action-packed road race games. Whew.
Yeah.
Man.
That's high tech for that.
No kidding. Yeah, have games on there.
It's not too bad.
That's
it's
crazy.
$30.
And it's not really branded that much with Dukes of Hazzard. I'm trying to see the actual watch here. It looks like in the top and the bottom of the screen there's a little bit, but
yeah, it's not very well branded.
Well,
no.
later in the 80s, you'd have stuff on the wristband itself, logos and all kinds of stuff. But it's real simple, except that there's like 4 buttons on each, or 2 buttons on each side of the watch,
right.
To do your racing or whatever. Very cool. All right, Chad, what you picking?
I'm picking something that I'm surprised you guys were not going after. We're going to go to page 166.
Next page over. Oh, yeah. I saw it.
I'm shocked you guys didn't go for this. Now, I have a story about this. I do have a good story. It's not really a good story, but whatever. It's my turn. So in 1995, I was really into collecting Star Wars memorabilia, especially like the older stuff.
Uh-huh.
During that point until like 97, nothing new with Star Wars was coming out. And I saw this beautiful alarm clock that I really loved for some reason. And it is a talking Star Wars alarm clock with, you hear C-3PO and R2-D2 going back and forth. It's just so cool. And I wanted it. I forgot what the agreement with my mom was, but we found it at like an antique dealer or something. And I never got it. I think it's sold before I could actually get back and buy it.
$28.
Oh gosh. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh. And the big compromise there was in 1995. I think Kenner put out a bank that would also talk, and like R2 would kind of slide up and push a coin into like the little bank. So I got that. That's a nice little compromise, but I never forgotten this alarm clock. It just looks so cool.
Yeah.
Something I would buy now. I'm not gonna lie.
That other clock on the left looks really cool, where the face is part of the TIE fighter there. And they've got the little background. Yeah, that one's pretty cool too.
That one's pretty cool. I don't think I had ever seen that one, or if I did, I don't remember. But also, side note, my family had the Star Wars Soakies, the little shampoo bottles down there.
Nice.
For ages. We had that Yoda until probably, 91, 92. I don't know.
Wow.
That's funny. I saw there's several things that I wrote down as kind of my wild cards that I remember having out of this catalog. So I know my parents were shopping in it.
Yeah.
All right. So we are now up to the big one. We're up to the toys. And let's see who went with the electronic item. I think I did. Wyatt, I think you're up. So Wyatt, pick one toy to start, and then we're gonna make our way back around.
So now you had to change my rules, because I was going to be all,
no, don't take them both now. You got to take one, just one.
Wyatt.
Because I originally wanted to take, it's a page, all of everything on 602 and everything all on 603, which is all Dukes of Hazzard stuff. But since you're gonna micromanage me here,
Yep. You
I'll
got one thing.
I'm getting all angry. I love it.
Oh my God.
I'll go get my Dukes of Hazzard big wheel back.
Oh yes. Now wait. Now the
page 562.
That looks cool.
Because I think I actually had this guy. I didn't have the big wheel. I had this guy, I think, growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I used it so much that the flat portion of that wheel was pretty well gone. So all I had was, the vertical, I don't know, discs of the big wheel.
Very cool.
Wild.
Toy number 2.
Nope. Wait.
Oh, we're gonna go around.
Wait. Yeah. We're gonna do. Let's give Chad a shot at the toys and me, and then we'll come back around. All right, Chad. What's your first toy? I can peg you for one. I know one you're gonna pick.
Oh, I want to hear what you're pegging me for.
600. It's on 608.
Close.
That haunted.
You know what?
Haunted play set.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But we're going to be on 606 for a second.
Okay.
Because what I see is I want the
Cobra lot of green. One. You see a lot of green, except for Cobra Commander. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I want that Cobra Command headquarters, which looks so ridiculous. But I'm trying to remember if the headquarters had come out by this point. But this is kind of cool.
Movable elevator and rocket and 3 Cobra action figures. Sturdy cardboard backdrop with instruction.
Oh my gosh.
Sturdy
This will get
cardboard.
destroyed.
$11. What a bargain.
$11. And how much is it going for now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millions.
This is a big one for G.I. Joe collectors because this thing got damaged and destroyed so quickly.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool looking.
Hard to find one in good condition. I didn't remember this at all. I went past this page and I didn't remember this. I remember the G.I. Joe headquarters, but not the Cobra headquarters. So, great pick. Great pick.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Now where do I go? I'm going to do this one just because it's fun and I remember actually going to the stunt show. Page 595. Wyatt, I wonder if you saw this.
Wait, what page?
595. Middle of the page is the Joey Chitwood thrill set.
Yep. We went there
by
together.
Erdl. Yes.
Oh
So we saw the Joey Chitwood show at our county fair. I saw it several times. But
saw it a couple times.
They had I think they had a tube like this. I don't know if they lit it up with fire or something. So this is kind of similar to what they did. They had the little ramps. You see the white car that's like on 2 wheels.
Yep.
They did that all around our horse racing track, like 2 laps or whatever, on 2 wheels. And just the whole setup here. And it's Erdl. I love anything that's Erdl. But you got the whole flatbed with the Mr. Pibb on the side of.
Yep.
I guess that was the sponsor for Joey Chitwood back then. But
well, for us, little side note, for us, the Joey Chitwood was all Chevy. So it was a big Chevy commercial for Fred Deal Chevrolet. So all their cars, the one show that I remember, they had the all brand new, sort of contoured. I think it was the last era of the Monte Carlo. Like it was on the Lumina frame. It's
motorized.
And that's also where they had the jet powered truck.
I do remember that. Yes.
They'd fired up and, we were halfway up the stands. And we felt the heat coming off of that thing.
Well, it's still a Chevy commercial. Look at the description. Cannon Jump event includes 8-inch long Chevy Titan cab over engine truck.
Yep.
You skip down here, 7-inch long Chevy pickup. So he was a Chevy man, I guess, for all of his thrill shows. But oh man,
I had never heard of this guy before.
No,
was this like just a local thing, or was this a national thing?
He was national, but he just did these little tours around the country, setting up these little stunt shows, and it was fun. They would have the cars, and they would. I think he was a stunt driver essentially for Hollywood. And they would do these 180 turns with the cars like they're, being chased by the cops, and you whip the steering wheel around, and then they would do it backwards. They go in reverse and you whip 180 and try to keep going in the same direction, all this kind of stuff. It was so much fun to watch as a kid, being in love with cars and everything. And my dad was a huge car buff. So yeah, there's some other fun stuff on this page. 2 down there, 2 pictures down. There's the Fall Guy truck.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
and Mike wanted the tractor backhoe. Whoever Mike is.
Yeah, I love this. Did you guys notice this in the book? Whoever was doing this was like penciling in or penning in people's names for people. I saw that a couple times, Wyatt. Yeah. All right, we're back to Wyatt. Go ahead. Your next toy.
My next toy is actually on 587. As much as I am the Dukes guy, since I can't have everything Dukes.
Can if you want. You're an adult.
Well, I know. I kind of like this Moto Drive car action game.
Oh, wow.
Because it looks like you can kind of have a maze there. It's not the typical thing like you had with the Dukes, and they had that turbo game that was derived, that the Dukes rather was derived from, where it was just you switch left and right on this little makeshift lit display. This looks like you go in circles and go to the outer ring there, and
I
you
see
have
that,
a little more challenge to it.
There's a little shifter there too. I don't know what that's for. Maybe forwards and backwards.
That's probably what it is, or maybe that's the speed. Yeah.
Turn the ignition key, shift into forward, and off you go. Steering wheel regulates car's course via rotating magnet wand under the platform. 2 speeds let you drive fast or slow. Well, who's going to drive slow? Come on, people.
Exactly.
That thing moved.
That's
even
fun.
if
I've
you
never
put it
seen
on
that before.
fast, it moves slow.
That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Chad.
All right, 608, as Jason did predict. Jason, what on the page did you predict that I was going to go after? Just curious.
No, 608 is the one that I saw with that that haunted house with all of the Universal Monsters figures down here. That looks pretty glorious.
You would be 100% correct. I passed up on the Masters of the Universe stuff because I guarantee you it's already under the tree from Santa. So, I mean, I'm not going to double dip. But this haunted house, this carrying case, I have never seen this before. This is
I hadn't either.
Wild. You've seen this before?
I've never seen it before, no.
Oh, it's beautiful. And I feel like this is probably a cool item to have. So in it, the top of the font is kind of covering up the play case, but there's also 3 packs of the figures that you can add on.
Here's the description. Creepy crawly home for things that go bump in the night. Ice peak, skeleton hands reach, and cobwebs abound. 3-dimensional effects, Dracula's coffin, dark pit, and Mad Professor's work table. There's the monster packs below. 3 monster packs, Frankenstein, Dracula, and it says glow in the dark. So something is glowing with these.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Gosh.
Yup. The
Very
figures,
glorious.
I think, glow in the dark. I had never seen that. That's so cool. I feel like I know a couple people that would probably have this on their grail list. Because I'm assuming. And my favorite thing is the little Frankenstein table. You gotta like strap him down to that.
Yeah,
it looks
that's so great.
Yeah, that's so wild. This is such a cool little collectible. I might have to start chasing after it, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I had not remembered this at all.
Oh, it's so cool.
Okay, wow, where am I going to go here? I wrote like 5 things down here, so it's so hard to pick one. All right, I love my Garfield, but I'm going to pass on the Garfield board game that's in this book. It's on 494. I had not seen that before, but I know you guys aren't as big of a Garfield fan as I am. But yeah, the Garfield board game. All kinds of Garfield stuff on that page. Anyway, I'm going to go with page 594. I'm going with everything that's Stompers on that page. Do you remember Stompers, Wyatt?
Oh, yes.
These are, Chad, I don't know if you remember these or not, but these are, they had batteries, and there was an on and off switch, so you could start them up and they would go on their own. But they had all these like little courses and stuff as the 80s went on for these Stompers, and their tires, some of them were harder plastic, but some of them were also foam. So they were almost like 4-wheel drive, and that track at the top is fun because you go all the way down and it comes back around and can go back up. And what was really cool, I thought too, there's like a tractor pull or a truck pull set down here, number 10.
That's cool.
So you can, dump stuff in there, move it up, and see how far it'll pull it. But yeah, I did not remember it all. There's a tractor trailer. Yeah, Mike. She got Mike penciled in for the tractor trailer Stomper. Down there, and these other semi rigs. Oh man, I love those Stompers.
This Christmas.
Yeah. I kind of passed on the low hanging fruit there. That was Masters of the Universe on that same page, because I eventually did at one point get Castle Grayskull. But I could have easily chosen that, but I was trying to find something too that was unique that I might not have had as a kid. And I remember having a couple of those Stompers, but never like the play sets or anything. So we're going to go with that. All right, this is it. This is the last item in the book. Anything you want. I think we're going to lead off with Chad. Anything in the book you want?
Let's go. There was just like, like I said, like this wasn't my era or generation. There's a lot of stuff here that is kind of new to me, which was, I'm not going to lie, that was kind of the fun of this whole episode. I'm not going to lie. The one on 294.
294.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. The sleeping bags.
And I am going with the Pac-Man sleeping bag and duffel bag.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Look at this weird, psychotic, deranged design of Pac-Man. Like, it's just strange.
But down below, he's normal. He's more like the cartoon Pac-Man. So that's the Pac-Man that's on the side of the game.
It is.
That with the 2 feet and the red eyes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love that there's 2 different designs on the thing. That's so great.
It's so weird, and I mean, look at the blue ghost too. Like, he looks different on the bottom too.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? He even looks different on the top, right under the logo. There's like 3 versions of each character. It's just wild.
Yeah.
I love this.
I just stared at these 3 pages all in a row that are the sleeping bags, because sleeping bags were all the rage back then.
Yes, they still are.
The first page over on 292, Wyatt, there you go for Julie. There's the Magic Kingdom sleeping bag. She loves Disney. But look at, there's also, there's a Smurfs bag that I had my eyes on. And they have a Candyland bag. So you can essentially play Candyland on your sleeping bag right there.
Yeah.
That kind of took me by surprise too. It made me laugh and smile. I was like, wow, that's kind of a cool idea.
Oh,
'Cause
just
if
so
you're
many
at
great ones.
You know, you're at your sleepover and you're having fun with your friends. You guys can, play Candyland. That's kind of fun. I like that. That's smart.
But on the page that you were at with Pac-Man and all that, you got Popeye, you got the superheroes, Superman and Wonder Woman and Spider-Man, and of course the Dukes are up there too. So, so many glorious designs in the sleeping bag world back then.
Oh my gosh,
man!
By the way, the one on 293, the Crayola box, I kind of think that's clever too.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. With the crayons coming out.
Pretty cool.
The Hot Wheels, Barbie, Bugs Bunny. Can't get any more classic than that, man.
No.
Just great. Okay. Oh, wow. I'm tempted to try to rival Chad's pick with the clock here, because on 289 has a Smurfs clock that I had as a kid, and I would fancy a guess that I had it this year. It's basically the same design. It's got that blue face with the white numbers, and it's got the Smurfs, and it looks like a log that they're sawing the log, and Papa Smurf down below kind of supervising. Going back now, though, if I had it now and played the talking, portion when the alarm hit, I would want to throw it across the room because it was so annoying. It was so high pitched. It was like the Chipmunks.
Man!
Oh, time to get up and get going. Come on, it's gonna be a Smurfy day. Yeah, shut up. And there it goes across the room. But I had that throughout the 80s in my room. So I'm not sure whatever happened to it. I probably did get mad at it one time and smash it to bits. But I'm so glad you picked the Star Wars alarm. I'm not going to try to rival that. What I'm going to pick is something I also had as a kid. Page 564. 564. I did not have this exact one. I still have a picture of me writing in it, though, down in our basement. In the middle of the page, the Hot Seat Spitfire. The trike that's there. The thing, it looks like a chopper. I mean, the handlebars were up. You had this huge, like, plastic seat in the back. Mine was blue, like blue and yellow, I think. But in the plastic wheels in the back, the pedal motion was kind of front and back. So you could almost do a burnout, but the wheel in the front was rubber, like a normal bike tire. And I rode that thing laps in my basement for years and years and years. And I'm pretty sure this is how spoiled I was as a kid, because I was an only child. Right down below it, that tractor with the wagon. I don't think I had the wagon. I know I had that tractor as well, with that fake sticker engine on the side. It's called the Power. What does it say? Power Pull. It's a 3-wheeler. So when I'd be in the basement and we would take turns because everybody wanted the hot seat, but I'd jump on the tractor and you try to take a hard turn with that one wheel in the front and you're going slamming right into the wall.
Gosh.
It was so hard to turn because it didn't have a full range of motion. But yeah, that tractor, I remember the day that our street got repaved, and like all the kids I lived in a cul-de-sac. All the kids came out with their bikes and skateboards and stuff. Those two items, the hot seat and the tractor, had never seen the light of day. They had always been in my basement. I brought those things and put them at the top of our street after they repaved it and was riding them down the street.
Oh my gosh.
That might be the only time that they were outside. But, oh gosh, those two things right there bring back so much nostalgia, let me tell you.
That looks like kid's first dreadnought cycle, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
before the
I
dreadnoughts
love it.
were around. Okay, enough of me reminiscing there. Wyatt, this is our last pick from the book. What random item do you want?
Again, there's so much, and you would think I'd pick everything Dukes of Hazzard, but something has my attention on page 22.
Ooh, early in the book.
Yep. And it's at the very bottom. It's the all-in-one TV, radio, and microcassette player recorder that's all in one. And you can pop out that little microcassette.
Yes, I did see that.
Wow.
That was something that I almost took for my pick because I had not seen that you could pop that out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Initially, I thought it said it's regular, like a regular cassette. So you had your own portable Walkman basically in this unit. And I've reread it and said it says micro cassette, but still, I mean, that was novel. You could have dubbed something and had your own mini player of some sort back in the day.
And that was the only thing that got me too. But to be able to pop it out and talk into whatever in the TV as well, how cool is that?
That's
And
awesome.
I thought that now the one right above it, this is like the iDock before it ever
Exactly
was thought of, because that middle section is your remote for the AM/FM stereo, but you can also take it with you and plug in, and it becomes a portable radio. So it's these things that like pop out of the electronics. I was like, this is 82. I don't remember any of this stuff. This is so cool.
We missed this catalog somehow.
You got your, pseudo Walkman right above it,
Right.
but that's what I'm thinking, is going to be scattered throughout this book. But flip over real quick to page 17, just a few pages over, and this thing is so glorious. This whole component, like cabinet, where you got the speakers built in. You've got a little deck down here it says you can pop in a VCR or laser disc. And then down below, you can have your cassette and your stereo. So this is like having the TV cart in high school, in your room. It's all there. And oh man, I just thought
I didn't think laser discs were a thing back then.
Yeah, or video discs. I think was what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then the price on all these items too.
My gosh,
$1,000 for a VCR. I mean,
and now this stuff all on your phone.
Right, yeah.
All on your
that
phone.
whole cabinet. Yeah, that whole cabinet.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. All right. Well, that was really fun, man. We found some good stuff in here, even though, like you said, it was early, kind of right at the beginning of the 80s when all this pop culture and all the cartoons and toys and stuff around that really exploded. But some really fun stuff in here. Let's just go down our list if you can remember everything that you picked and shout it out there. So, Chad, let's start with you.
The Walter Payton jersey, the butter cookies, a copy of Empire Strikes Back for whatever.
Sears or Atari. Yeah.
Sears, Atari, whatever. The G.I. Joe Cobra Command set. I also got the monster carrying case and figures.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the Pac-Man sleeping bag. I'm sure I'm leaving something out because I literally...
The Star Wars, the clock. The clock, yeah.
Yes, the Star Wars clock. Thank you. I delete all my notes as soon as I say them. So, you go, Chad.
Well, that's all right. So yeah, I'm decked out in the Steelers flannel robe and the slipper socks. I've got my Smurfs wrapping paper ready to wrap presents. I'm playing this 7-in-1 sports stadium handheld game. I've got the wristwatch that you can listen to the AM radio with, and then I got the Joey Chitwood stunt set and the Stompers, and then my hot seat, and the we'll throw in the tractor there too that I had as a kid. So those were my picks. Wyatt, what were your picks?
Mine was a ventriloquist Bozo the Clown for Chad.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot to put that in there.
Oh yeah.
The Dukes of Hazzard PJs with robe for the clothing. The Christmas bubbling lights for our Christmas item.
Classic.
The Atari arcade system for our video game item. The Dukes of Hazzard game watch for our little electronic item. The Dukes of Hazzard big wheel, just so I can have it again. The Moto Drive car maze, which looks pretty cool to have. And the last item, which is the random item, was the all-in-one TV, microcassette, and radio.
Man, we had some good picks, man. Yeah, I forgot to mention. I got you the Dixie horn too.
That's right.
To eventually put in your car, or maybe you want to put it in the big wheel.
Well, yeah, you got to do that.
Perfect.
Right. And then Chad, you got me the
figure eight set.
The figure 8 set. Thank you. I was going to say the slot cars, but they're not slot cars. But
no.
Excellent. This was fun, guys. I always enjoy this episode. I'm glad we worked it out so all three of us could be together and go through the book. But yeah, so I'll try to release a video for those of you just listening to the podcast. I'm going to try to release a video over on YouTube and put some visuals to what we were talking about. So be looking on the Rediscover the 80s channel here soon. I'm sure I'll post it out on social media as well. Chad, did you have anything special you want to plug for Christmas? Anything happening in your neck of the internet?
No, not really. Come follow me if you're interested in weird stuff on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Horror Movie BBQ, BBQ that is, and horrormoviebarbecue.com. I'm kind of starting to blog again, and I'm getting the itch. So,
oh yeah, I saw the Sergeant Slaughter review.
Holy cow!
That thing is glorious, man.
That figure is amazing, and
the figure comes with a figure. How did they do that, man? The figure comes with a figure. Oh, God.
Incredible!
It's
incredible.
So cool.
Cool. It's the best Sergeant Slaughter figure we've ever gotten. Spoiler.
Oh, easy.
Oh yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, make sure you follow Chad. Of course, Wyatt, he joins me for all the podcasts over here in Rediscover the 80s. He's at Infamous WB. Don't forget about that. And, of course, at RD80s and rediscoverthe80s.com. And I've been doing this, I don't know if you've noticed this, Chad, or even you, Wyatt, but I started a new Christmas article series on Rediscover the 80s called Comparing Christmas. And I've been going back. I've done, I think, 2 now. Going back and looking at toys across 3 different catalogs. So we looked at the initial offering for Masters of the Universe and the JCPenney, the Wishbook, and the Montgomery Ward catalog to see what they were offering and kind of compare prices and if there was anything different. And then I also did Mask, of course, in '85.
Nice.
And compared it across the 3 books. So those have been really fun to put together. I was trying to think of something different to do instead of just popping pictures up on social media, which are great, and I love looking at them like anybody else does, but I was interested. Okay, maybe you had a Montgomery Ward in your area. Was that better than having Sears or whatever and having that catalog? So it's been really fun to put that together and kind of compare and see which catalog wins if you were a fan of Masters of the Universe or Mask, you know. So y'all check that out, rediscoverthe80s.com. And I think that's going to do it. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you guys. And hopefully we'll be catching up with each other online and stuff as we drop the show. But wanted to say that to you guys and, of course, everybody listening as well. And just love this time of year. It's about time for me to bust out my Christmas vacation watch, and I can't wait. Always leading that up to the, right to Christmas Eve. So getting in all of our Christmas watches and everything we like to do. So. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Chad, thanks for coming along, man.
Thank you so much for letting me come along. I always look forward to this every single year.
It's so much fun. And Wyatt, we'll be back on the air soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.